Imagine you are trapped in a brutal Siberian labor camp with only one option, an impossible 14,000-kilometer journey through a frozen, icy wilderness to reach freedom. In today's recap, we dive into the heart-wrenching and inspiring true story of As Far as My Feet Will Carry Me. Experience the unbreakable spirit and relentless determination of one man as he battles through a relentless icy landscape in his quest for survival and freedom. In 1945, we are taken to a prisoner camp in Siberia, where a large number of German soldiers are being held captive. The Second World War has ended, and these soldiers have been brought here as prisoners. The camp is harsh, with extreme cold and ice surrounding it. The prisoners are forced to work hard under brutal conditions. Among the prisoners is Clemens Forell, who has been sentenced to 25 years of hard labor. Clemens is desperate to escape and return to his wife and daughter. The guards in the camp are not overly strict, as they believe that escaping the camp means certain death due to the freezing temperatures and the treacherous terrain. Despite the severe consequences, Clemens is determined to find a way out. One night he sees an opportunity and decides to act. He sneaks into a coal car and manages to escape from the camp. Clemens knows the risks, but his desire to reunite with his family drives him to take this daring chance. In the darkness of the night, Clemens Forell finds solace in the sight of the stars as he escapes in a coal car from the Siberian prisoner camp. However, his moment of joy is short-lived as the car abruptly halts. Curious, Clemens peeks out, only to be spotted by a Soviet officer. He is swiftly apprehended and taken back to the camp. Thrown into a small underground cell, Clemens endures 3 days of harsh confinement. Rain seeps through the ground above, adding to the cold and misery. Denied food during this period, Clemens suffers silently, enduring the torment imposed upon him. Finally, the warden retrieves him from his solitary confinement. Led to where his fellow prisoners await, Clemens is met with anger and resentment. His actions had caused his comrades to go without food for 3 days, intensifying their fury towards him. They unleash their pent-up rage upon Clemens in a brutal and merciless manner, leaving him gravely injured and broken. The doctor, despite knowing the deadly risks of escaping from the Siberian camp, reveals a chilling truth to Clemens Forell. Staying at the camp means a slow death from the toxic lead dust inhaled during forced labor. Even the doctor himself is a victim of this lethal exposure, facing imminent death. With little time left, he urges Clemens to flee, knowing it's his only chance at survival. In a gesture of solidarity and practicality, the doctor equips Clemens with warm clothing, shoes, and a gun, items he had prepared for his own escape attempt. He also discreetly provides Clemens with hidden food along the railway line, essential for his journey. Despite harboring his own desire to escape, the doctor resigns himself to fate, acknowledging that his time is short and there's no hope left for him beyond the camp. Moved by compassion and a sense of duty, the doctor entrusts Clemens with his lunchbox, asking him to deliver it to his family should he successfully reach safety. It's a poignant moment of solidarity amidst the bleakness of their circumstances, where humanity and survival intertwine in a desperate bid for freedom. Under the cover of a raging snowstorm, Clemens Forell seizes another opportunity to escape from the Siberian camp. The elements are harsh, but driven by the doctor's encouragement and provision, he ventures into the icy wilderness once more. By morning, news of Clemens's escape reaches the warden, only to discover that the doctor has passed away during the night. Fueled by anger at Clemens' defiance, the warden dispatches soldiers to track him down, though initial reports suggest he may have succumbed to the brutal cold. Despite widespread belief in Clemens's demise, the warden remains steadfast in his conviction that Clemens is still alive. Determined, he continues the search for 9 days. Clemens Forell struggles on through days of relentless walking, his provisions dwindling to nothing. Hungry and thirsty, he collapses in despair, only to be jolted awake by distant voices. His hope flickers as he spots a sled nearby, a potential source of food. Desperation grips him as he raises his gun and takes a shot, but the bullet misses its mark, sending the sled fleeing. Determined, Clemens gives chase until the sled disappears behind an icy boulder. With his vision blurred by exhaustion, Clemens steadies himself and fires again, this time hitting his target. The sled stops, and Clemens finds relief in knowing he now has sustenance. With a stomach finally filled after days of deprivation, Clemens rests briefly before mustering the strength to move on once more. Continuously walking for 2 months, Clemens Forell relies on his compass to maintain his bearings and preserve his sanity. His solitary journey through the icy wilderness finally yields a hopeful sign when he spots a dry tree ahead, a rare sight after endless months surrounded by Arctic rocks. This signals to him that he may have reached a more hospitable terrain. Meanwhile, the determined warden persists in his search for Clemens, instructing his soldiers to scour within a 500-meter radius to retrieve him. Despite the the belief that Clemens remains alive, his perilous journey takes an unexpected turn as a snowstorm sweeps through the now dry forest, causing trees to collapse. One such tree falls directly toward Clemens, threatening his life. Miraculously, two individuals searching for gold nearby witness the impending disaster and rush to Clemens's aid, saving him from certain death. Grateful for their timely intervention, Clemens joins forces with his newfound companions. As they journey onward, Clemens Forell and his companions find themselves emerging into a changed landscape where the snow has melted and rivers flow freely once more. They construct a makeshift raft from wood and navigate downstream together, propelled by the current. However, their journey takes a perilous turn when the river's flow intensifies, causing one of their companions to lose their balance and fall into the water. Without hesitation, Clemens leaps into action, risking his own safety to rescue the struggling companion and pull them to safety. Sadly, their other companion is swept away by the powerful current. In a surprising twist, the lost companion reappears alongside Clemens, seemingly miraculously reunited. But as time passes, Clemens begins to suspect betrayal when he realizes that the companion who fell had intentionally abandoned them by taking the raft and leaving. Faced with this betrayal and the harsh realities of their journey, Clemens must now navigate not only the physical challenges of their environment, but also the complexities of trust and survival amidst unpredictable circumstances. In their arduous journey through the harsh terrain, tensions escalate between Clemens Forell and his companion, who has accumulated a significant amount of gold. As they face another bout of snow, exhaustion weighs heavily on Clemens, prompting his companion to propose carrying Clemens's bag temporarily. However, distrust simmers as Clemens fears the man may covet his belongings, leading to a sudden attack. Struggling to defend himself, Clemens is knocked unconscious by the force of the assault. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself surrounded by the unsettling sound of approaching sheep, instinctively seeking refuge in a nearby tree. Yet, his attempt to evade the sheep is thwarted as they latch onto his foot, leaving him in a precarious and vulnerable position. After narrowly escaping the sheep, Clemens is rescued by villagers who take him in and care for him. Upon waking, he feels a sense of relief and happiness. However, the peace is shattered when the village receives a dire warning from the Soviet army, announcing that a German soldier has escaped from a nearby camp and is hiding among them. The villagers are warned that harboring this soldier will result in severe punishment. Understanding the peril, the villagers implore Clemens to leave for his own safety. They generously provide him with food and a dog for companionship on his journey. For the next year, Clemens and his dog travel together. One day, having finally found a group of mill workers, Clemens Forell's dog approaches them, prompting Clemens to follow and retrieve his loyal companion. However, the workers recognize Clemens as German and apprehend him, leading him to their owner. Clemens recounts his harrowing tale, hoping to stir sympathy. Moved by his story, the mill owner arranges for Clemens to board a train, ostensibly to help him escape. Clemens is elated at the prospect of soon reuniting with his family in West Germany. Yet, at a station along the route, his hopes are dashed when he spots numerous Soviet soldiers, realizing he has been betrayed. Understanding that the mill owner and workers had betrayed him by informing the warden, who now awaits his arrival, Clemens makes a quick decision. Before reaching the warden, he and his dog disembark from the train and flee into the unknown, once again evading capture and determined to continue his journey to freedom. Clemens Forell finds himself relentlessly pursued by Soviet soldiers after narrowly escaping the warden. Tragically, during the pursuit, Clemens hears the heartbreaking sound of bullets, realizing that his loyal dog has been killed. Grief-stricken but resolute, Clemens continues running, driven by his determination to survive. In a desperate bid to evade capture, Clemens spots a bridge with a train passing underneath. With swift decisiveness, he jumps aboard the moving train, narrowly escaping the Soviet soldiers once again. For several more months, he continues his journey, employing various methods to stay ahead of his pursuers. Exhausted and starving, Clemens eventually arrives at a fair where he sees tempting and delicious food, but he lacks the means to purchase any. Disappointed, he begins to walk away when one of the girls selling pancakes takes pity on him. Moved by compassion, she offers Clemens a piece of pancake, a small gesture of kindness in his arduous journey. In Central Asia, Clemens Forell encounters a Polish Jewish man who observes him with suspicion and begins to follow him. Seeking solace, Clemens finds himself in a church where he offers prayers. Here, he is approached by the Jewish man, who reveals that he too was once a prisoner and offers his assistance. Moved by empathy and understanding, the Jewish man takes Clemens to his home, where after many years, Clemens is finally able to shave and regain a semblance of his former self. Grateful for the kindness and support he receives, Clemens is provided with a new passport by the Jewish man, enabling him to return to his family. At the Iranian border, Clemens presents his newly acquired passport and is granted permission to cross. Overwhelmed with emotion, Clemens rejoices at the thought of reuniting with his loved ones and returning home after his long and arduous journey. In a moment of elation and relief, Clemens Forell crosses the bridge, believing he has finally escaped Soviet soil and can reunite with his family in West Germany after 7 years of relentless pursuit and hardship. However, his joy is short-lived when he encounters the warden standing before him. Realizing he is still within reach of Soviet jurisdiction, fear and disbelief grip Clemens as he expects imminent arrest, his dreams of freedom and reunion seemingly dashed. Yet, to his astonishment, the warden steps aside, allowing Clemens to pass. Overwhelmed by the unexpected turn of events, Clemens cautiously moves forward, driven by the desire to live and return home. The warden, though honoring his promise to capture Clemens after all these years, is also moved by Clemens's determination and will to survive. With a mixture of respect and admiration, he lets Clemens go, acknowledging the resilience and strength Clemens has shown throughout his journey. Arriving in West Germany on Christmas Day, Clemens witnesses his wife and daughter heading to church. Overcome with emotion, he follows them and, inside the church, experiences a miraculous moment of recognition and reunion as his daughter embraces him, finally reuniting after their long separation. And so, with Clemens Forell embracing his family once more, this remarkable journey of perseverance and hope comes to a heartfelt conclusion.